Let's go and let's get ready to rock and roll. And today's call is about how AI and technology is changing the land investment game, right? Um, why? Because land investing has evolved from like a hustle and spreadsheet to a systems and speed game, right? When I started this in 2020, um, we got taught like, hey, you just pick a couple of counties, like, hey, there's this little spreadsheet, count the sales and the sold and like on the market and bring all of that together. And then you make your little market research, like this is how what it was back in the day. And you did all of that, then you sent a bunch of mailers out and took some calls and all of that. And that has drastically changed, especially in the past 2 years. And like in the land investing game today, it's like what it really is a no or what it really was back in the day was a knowledge transfer, right? You as a land investor were knowing something about how to move land, how to use tools to make land accessible and to sell it on top dollar and how to bring cash in there and educate sellers and buyers on how to do that. And today, it's just like differently because knowledge is everywhere available on the internet and chat GPT and all that. Because like today you have AI data tools, you have omnichannel marketing, CRM that do that, AI agents that answer calls. Like there's so much more that is that is happening today. So, this whole game, who's still running with spreadsheets manually, right? And I'm doing everything manually is losing the game over the next 2 3 years. I just like it was a podcast episode like 1 or 2 weeks ago on the Ari Tipster podcast with Seth Williams, and there was somebody on there and like he's a bookkeeper and he says like 40% of the people left the industry in the last year. So that means it's 40% less. On the same time, with an insane amount of gurus out there that are teaching this method to new people, right? So it's like this gap which is there. And in the end, we need to prepare ourselves for the new way of doing land investing today, for the new way of how do we do it today, right? And why is it like that? So first of all, what changes this whole team topic like of data transparency and market intelligence. Like what I described before, you really needed a skill to find the right markets, right? And as there were not so many of us, you just like randomly, like, hey, I my first like area that I really worked, there was a dot arrow that I throw like on a dot board and ended up in that area doing deals there. This is like the pure reality of that. Because the data analysis I did back in the day was my spreadsheet was not good, right? So, and then like suddenly things came up like Land Insights and um, the Land Portal. What they do is they take all the available data and give it to you in a form that you suddenly can make super distinguished decisions about where do I do what type of deals? Where do I find them? In which areas of the country do I find those deals? Right? And now get that shift. Like I know, like Jean is here on our Zoom call. She has learned it back in the day. Hey, yeah, go to a county website, open Zillow, see how many sales have there been in the last year, see how many are on the market, right? And then you're comparing this. Today, you just type in, hey, I want to look in this state or this county for 20 to 40 acre lots, which are moving for this price amount and this amount of time with this sales through rate and all that. And it spits it out to you. And then you take that. And then what you do is you just put it in the data tool and it spits it out, right? You have the data. And before, what we needed to do is like, then we need to find a list provider and pull them and scrub lists and like whatever, right? So this whole game that wasn't before is now much easier. The thing is, you need first of all to learn how to use these new tools and really dive deep into them, right? Otherwise, everybody else using them has a competitive advantage because he can pull better leads faster with a higher quality than you can do that. And I still see people like, let me just like mail to this county. No, that doesn't work like this anymore. And then they're complaining about like, hey, I don't have good leads in my pipeline. People like in 2025, like when you don't do this, like use this data tools to run your market analysis, your return on ad spend will be the hell, right? You will, I know like Harald, he's here on the call. He told me he sent like a campaign and he just got all this like $5,000, $7,000 lots in somewhere in Michigan, like zero point 0.1 acre, and he was super freaking frustrated with it, right? But what it really is it's not the technology is there, so you now need to use it to get that. And everybody who doesn't do it will just get shitty deals. So, and as the market is like right now super soft, when you have shitty deals, you will not make any money because you will pay more money, you will pay the same amount of money to get a shitty deal than somebody using those tools that has the same amount he spends to get that deal, but has a much nicer deal where he makes the money, right? And you know, it's the same thing like today, this whole thing, data and like how you can read markets, right? It's like so much faster. But when you don't get on top of your game there, you will just have other people that will do more. How do I mean that? Like I talked in the past half year to a bunch of land investors and like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing for acquisitions and all that? And everybody told me, oh, I do double the amount of that what I did last year because I can now. Why? So I can pull data much faster. I can pull more data. I use more technology. I use more leverage through technology to do this. And guys, it will even be like more competitive in 2 years from now, right? Like around this topic. So you really need to own your game here. This is what I want to tell you, right? Um, let's talk a little bit about underwriting. Underwriting will probably in the next 2 years complete. Like, I mean, we do that for a living. We run comps for people, right? Like, this is what we do. Um, but that whole game will change too, because underwriting today, like evaluation, what do I mean by underwriting? Let me define this. Evaluation of deals, right? Is a super soft topic because the data is super intransparent today, right? That means like you normally get a price and the acreage when you pull data, maybe some days on market, how long it was there, but that was it. The rest you need to read from listing text, you need to read from you need to look at pictures and bring stuff into context, right? Like, I mean, we look a lot at recreational acreage, like you need to find out, is it farmland, is it hunting land, what is it? Right? And then most of the times you don't get a lot of that information, so you get in the trap. But with the time, like today, there's like Land Insights, the Land Portal, they run you all this comps reports, and this is why these reports from them are still so far off because they just pull data, but the initial data they pull is like it doesn't really make a decision. You can make the decision in Land Insights and the Land Portal. To my knowledge, you can't do it. Um, you can't really choose which comps you use and not, right? So they just pull this price point and acreage. This is what they pull. And then you need to still sort that. In 1 or 2 years from now, that will be a mouse click tool because somebody will train an AI to hit a button to read listing text, to look at pictures, to compare all of that. That will happen, right? So you need to be aware of that because that will democratize the whole market because this is something how we today approach the market is we know what a property is really worth and get it on a discount. This is the majority of the business models we're driving today here in the land space, right? Like not really wholesaling or like buy and hold and sell, right? Like, but it's because we know what land is really worth and we can convince somebody else or solve a problem because they need money right now to sell it for us fast on the market value. But this advantage of like really the knowledge about the true value of the land will be gone. It will democratize the market once a software like this is available because now mom and pop can go online, like every mom and pop investor, every household sailor, every like retailer, every like seller can go on there and see what is my property really worth, data driven. That will come, right? So what it was before, and then let's go in due diligence, right? Different thing. We have AI agents today, right? So you can literally build an agent and hit a button, and this who knows the spreadsheets you get from all this like providers with like due diligence things? You can, an AI agent can do that today. The AI agent can literally call a county too and ask all these questions you ask for due diligence. So like probably in a year from now, 2 years from now, it will be standard to just like type in an APN number, get a complete due diligence report with the hard due diligence, everything that you can research on the internet, everything that's online, it will pull that, put that in context, and give you a full report. And it will probably also be able to call a county and to call like I don't know local authorities to just like confirm all this data. That's coming, right? So everything that gives us a competitive advantage is like um will be done. And you as an investor, right? Like you will need to be able to keep up with it, right? It will really be in 2 years the people that have the best technology stack and probably have the most capital that will win the game, right? Let's talk about lead generation. How I think that will change, right? Like what we did before is you choose like one channel and just do, like, oh, I send mailers. Like this is how what are you doing like in acquisition? Oh, I do mailers, I do call calling, I do texting. It's a one channel outreach model. So now with all this technology advantage, it becomes for the land investor absolutely necessary to do multiple outreach strategies, right? Because you have now all this great data and you have like other people fishing in the same pond you do. So what you need to do is to squeeze a maximum amount out of the data that you have available. The problem in land is we don't build more of this. There's a certain amount of vacant land and it gets less every year because like they build more and more and more and more, right? So like the available pool of things we can move will get less. Right. I mean, there's subdivides and there's some added, but in generally, like the supply shrinks. So what you now need to do is really use your top of the funnel market and analytics to see where are the deals I want to do. And then you want to find in these areas that markets and pockets that work for you. Probably there's one outreach method enough, but now I give you the math. When you have 100% of owners, right? You have like, let's say 1,000 leads in a certain market that you defined. And now you do texting. First thing is you skip trace those, and you will probably lose 40% of the people. So you just only have a database of 600 that you really text out of the 1,000. From this 600, probably just 150 or 100 will talk to you, which is insane, right? That's a 20% response rate, right? But on the total database, it's just a 10% of people talk actually to you. Same for direct mail, right? Even when you send a direct mail campaign, you send it to 1,000 people, and probably 850 people will throw your letter away. 150 will read it, and probably 50 will call you. And direct mail is coming back right now, too, by the way, guys. Direct mail is coming back. I had a bunch of conversations the past couple of weeks. So what I want to say by that is through your data driven approach, what you want to do is you want to find the right pockets to like a fast responding outreach method, like lead generation method, like texting or call calling. And then when you want to go and use direct mail and something like warm Facebook advertising, like TV ads, radio ads, bandit signs on the side of the road, big, how do you call that? Like road signs, right? Like this where this injury lawyers are always on the highway that tell you, hey, I made $1 billion for my clients. Yeah. Like, it's what that means is it first of all, you reach more data. Second of all, you build branding. So it's not so much longer like a shotgun approach. You go in there. No, what you want to do is billboards. Thank you, Gene. This is how you call them, right? It's not no longer like a shotgun approach you want to do. It's like this, hey, I am everywhere, right? This is like everywhere, like, you text them, you call them, you mail them, you make Facebook retargeting, you probably do any kind of branding things. And this is how I, for example, dominated the market for a long time in Tallahassee because we were sending mailers, we did ringless voicemails, we did like texts, we did like call calling on the same data. It was always the same data set that we were going on to. We did in the end, like, and now comes the branding factor, right? Like, um, we did like radio ads and TV ads, and all of that was aligned. We did like Facebook retargeting ads, right? So, and I think this omni-channel with branding component is something that will really change the game for investors. When you become in certain local markets a go-to, and you can build that through a multi-channel marketing approach, then you will be successful because then you will be the known figure in that market, and all these other investors, they will still have access that like make like a mass approach because they just do a bunch of data and they will also have a lucky shot. But like I think a really reasonable strategy in the next like couple of years will be becoming a local market niche expert and building branding in that market that you get known for that thing. This is what companies do for a long time. This is what big corporates do. Like uh, you probably all know the Coca-Cola logo or the Nike logo or whatever. And it is because they do branding on their company, so they get known for something. And this is what you can do with the technology available today. You can build that up too, pretty easily, right? This is something what we do in the land autopilot, by the way, right? Like our clients, they use certain outreach methods right now to learn the markets, and then we're building this like branding assets with them in the markets that work for them and do this omni-channel approach, right? So what I mean by that is you just need to do more today, right? We are in marketing in a trust crisis. Consumers don't trust you anymore, right? Like people don't trust advertising. So the only thing you can do to avoid that is do more, right? Get more into it, get more in the weeds, build this trust up, if that makes sense. Um, so really, when you look back and look into your pipelines, look into your deal pipelines, when you this technology approach makes it so easy to just pull more data on top of the funnel, but really look at your data today. Where are the markets where I produce leads and how can I do more? Because when you have a certain market where you probably wrote 3 contracts through text messaging right now, there's a really high chance that you can write another 3 contracts in the market through cold calling because another type of person will pick up the phone and talk to you, then will text with you. There's a really high chance that you find another 3, 4, 5 deals through direct mail in postcards or in letters, or that people will inquire through your website through the internet, if that makes sense, because it's certain demographics also per acquisition method that you talk to, right? So what you really want to do is over the next 2 years to not like left behind, use that data first approach to identify markets to then build omni-channel marketing, which is highly technology driven today too, right? And that leads me to the next thing, lead qualification in 2025. And I'm a big dispo guy, and we talk about dispo in a little bit too. Um, I think that AI will take over in lead qualification pretty soon. It still does. Like our Land Autopilot Pro customers have a lead qualification agent that just like is sorting out stuff already, qualifying, disqualifying, right? They make faster decisions on like they don't waste as much time on the phone with tire kickers as like when you run a normal campaign. They don't need to hire VAs. Like, and this AI agents are freaking good. Like you can't really decide is that like I was talking to a survey company today and I said, are you an AI agent? And she said, no, I'm a real person, right? You don't know. They are so good. Sometimes you talk to them and you don't even realize they are AI agents, right? Um, And to be honest, like this AI agents, they will be better than any lead manager you can train, right? Because you give them a script, you make your script better, you train them on the script, make them better, 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 better. They're never sick. They answer the phone 24/7. They can write text messages, they can write email, they can do all of that, and that will take over. This lead qualification thing will just be obsolete like pretty soon, right? So, and why is that so important? Because one of the most important metrics in 2025 is speed to lead on the phone, right? Through this whole data game I described before, and people just doing more, right? Like everybody's, I think, has a feeling of doubling down. Like when I look through my Facebook spread, like everybody's looking for lead managers and closers, because what the people do is they just like do more text messages, they do more call calling, they just like put more data top of the funnel because it's so easy, right? Like, hey, when I don't get enough leads, I just do more data, do more calls, do more text. It will lead you to success, but not long term, right? It will just be more of everything. Mm, and where these people are exceptionally good, what you really want to do is like, so they're all calling, the sellers get calls from everybody talking to their land. When you don't call your sellers within 15 minutes after they said, yes, I want to talk to somebody, they're gone. And that's psychologically reasonable. Because, first of all, they get multiple calls a day. Second of all, they have stressful lives. And, like, to be honest, my day today, I don't even know what I did like 3, 4 hours ago, right? Like, because I have so many calls. I have like so much to do in a day. Like, when somebody calls me, like, oh, yeah, we talked like 3 days ago. Yeah, what was that again about? Right? So, this speed to lead is like the most important metrics because everybody's just doing more. So, and is going on there. So you need to compete with all these other people. But when you call them like really on the spot, you have this advantage of like being reliable from day one. Right. So, and an AI agent, when you have that one now, he's directly available after you have a hand raiser. After call caller did this, after text message come in, when you have like an AI agent that handles now the conversation, you're spot on. Right. And they will just get better. Like what you see today is the level one AI voice agents. Give that like a year or 2 or 3 from now, they will be better than any human, right? It will feel like a human interaction, right? So, what I mean by that is, um, the human layer moves in this whole thing will become less important, and you need to be able to invest in technology as a land investor to be still around in 2, 3 years to have that technology available for you, right? Because what your deal will be, you will do final negotiations and you will do deal structuring, right? Like this is what it will be. The margins probably get thinner, right? So it's a lot about how do you structure a deal? How do you define the exit strategy, right? It will not be so much around anymore with this in 2, 3 years. Around like the speed to lead, the AI agent will be able to handle that for you. But then after that, how do we structure the deal? How do we make the human part of the deal, right? It will be more a strategic approach and not a contact first approach, if that makes sense. So have that in mind. The game will change here, right? Like be ready to invest in technologies like that. Like go on land conferences, go like on different podcasts and listen what's going state of the art because it will come back to you if you don't, right? Like I mean, here in the autopilots, for example, you will participate, like they were participating from that because we built out that technology from them, like, and they're participating in the system that does that, will have that available for them, that they don't need to do it by themselves. But when you stay by yourself, when you do it for yourself, be ready to invest in those things to get stuff rolling, right? And let's talk a little bit about underwriting again. This will like really go like from this like gut feeling to predictive modeling, right? So like we are working on training an AI to make a prediction about the deal. What is the best exit strategy depending on the price point that you negotiate with the seller? Because you will need to be learn what are different exit strategies, and you need to be able to execute them in different capacity, if that makes sense, right? Because as soon as underwriting is no longer a big research topic anymore, everybody will have that. So you now need to learn the execution because this will make the difference. Like, how do I add a mobile home on there? How do I do this, right? Like, how do I do that? So it will really, really, really change the game, right? So last but not least, what I predict happening is that the whole dispositions and marketing variance will change. Like, how do I mean that? Today, we have, like, how was it in the past? It was a pull marketing. What you did is you created a listing, or you found a realtor that listed it somewhere. And when you created a listing, you listed it somewhere, like on land specific website, Facebook Marketplace, whatever. And then you were waiting for buyers. This is how it worked, right? Like, they reached out to you and they were there. Guys, we're now through this phase in 2 years where the market pulled back, and that people that are still successful are those people that do a push marketing too, if that makes sense, right? So it's like these people I see really succeeding in this, for this, that added a layer of like, hey, we find the cash buyers in the area. That added a layer, hey, we gonna do an active approach to contact builders that buy lots from you. We do an active approach to work with hunting associations in the area, right? So it's today a mixture out of pull and push marketing that's coming. Um, that you will need to succeed. And especially when you do this pull marketing methods, like listing it somewhere and putting it on like for sale somewhere, what's super important here for you is speed to lead. And there we are again. Why? Everybody is trying to grab for attention. I'm super sorry, guys. Like, who has a phone? Like, one of those here. Like, I know Paul has one. He's consistently on that. Like, and Tahara has probably one. But this thing is grabbing for our attention all day, every day, right? So what it means is um, that the attention span of people gets shorter, right? I just read somewhere like our average attention span is 2.9 or 3.1 seconds. That's like less than a goldfish has, right? So um, which is quite impressive, right? Like, goldfish is like is much smaller, but okay. So, now what I mean by that is people are distracted all day, every day, and especially in this for marketing, they want something, but they want all day something. They want something from Amazon, they want something from here, they want something from there. So, what you really need to do is on Dispo, it's as important as on acquisitions is to be fast, to be on your lead, to be on top of them. When they inquire, hey, you don't want to let them go. They inquire, you need to be on top of that. And AI will take over there too. Like, we had that live already and have that live in some of our marketing channels on the Dispo side. When somebody is inquiring, there's 24/7 a live agent working with these people because we know how valuable this is to engage directly with this contract with this contact, right? Like, because hey, when you just work Mondays to Fridays, and a lot of people are home on Saturdays and Sundays, like scrolling and just like looking for lots, and you don't have anybody like sending them a text message, chatting with them through Facebook Marketplace or whatever, on Saturday evening at 8 o'clock. You don't want to call them at 8 o'clock Saturday evening or 2 a.m. in the morning. You don't want to do that. But a text message when they're online, you can try it, like it works, and people are replying to you, like hidden under their like little comforter, right? While they're laying in bed, probably. But this is what happens. So speed to lead is super important here too. So AI agents will take that conversation over. You will just do the final negotiations, right? Um, like we do, for example, a push method, like when we find the right realtor to market our deal, we start automatically marketing cold emails to all other realtors in that area. So everybody knows here's a lot listed suddenly, right? And when somebody replies on that, we automatically bring them to another email in touch with our local realtor, and they start talking with each other. It's not a human handling that anymore. When you don't do that, when you don't invest in stuff like that, you will be gone in 3, 4 years, if that makes sense, right? So, and what do you see right now? Like after listening to that podcast, like, and we see that too with our customers. 40% of the people are leaving our industry because they can't adapt fast enough, right? I mean, congratulations to all land autopilots here on the call because you made technology adaptation. We do the technology for you, and you just use it. That's a pretty smart move, right? But you will be pretty well set up. But like, hey, when you're a single operator out there, you just like wanna be on top of that game, right? And to wrap that up a little bit for today, and I don't want to scare somebody out. Like what? So here's your exit strategy of doing that. When you're struggling with data, get on top of the game, learn how to use Land Insights, the Land Portal, whatever. When you're struggling with lead generation, there's beautiful CRMs out there. There's Brad and Parker with Land AI. There's, I think, Seth Williams and Mike Balcom, like are working on a pretty good CRM solution right now with inbound agents and all that. Be aware of this technology changes. Hey, if you have trouble with comms and underwriting today, use the Land Pilot and don't work with comms reports from AI platforms that are not working right now, but they will in 1 or 2 years. But stay on top of like how that is evolving and just be fast. 2025 is the year of being fast. You want to be fast with your sellers, you want to be fast with your buyers, and you want to spend a lot of time on grab their attention like pretty fast to build rapport and trust like from the first second they interact with you, right? And the window to position you into that and see where your biggest bottleneck is right now, right? Like you want to be right now, look at your companies and like right now see like, hey, what's working, what's not working in my company, and to take one thing at a time to move forward to still be around in 2 or 3 years, right? Like this is what I want to tell you because it will go quickly now. We're in the fastest like technology driven innovation cycle human history has ever seen, and it will just go faster. The more all this fast thinking technology things are taking over, the more we need to adapt, the faster we need to adapt. So find communities you connect yourself with, work with people that are on top of the game, try to be of value for them, right? And then it will be awesome because with everything that I told you, when you utilize that technology, you will have a much more scalable, much more predictable, and a much more stable business than you had ever before. Because everything that's data supported, that's data driven, is scalable. You just like you just like replace like a lot of like that what VAs do now with technology, and that will just bring you on the top of the game. And Gene says it here in the chat, AI changes every day too. This models just get better, guys. Like, we don't, they are evolving like so fast. Like when you look like what you can do today just alone with ChatGPT or with Claude or with all this AI agents, this is blowing really my mind, right? There's a tool, it's called N8N. I don't know how familiar with that, but you can literally teach it. It's like a Zapier on steroids, right? You can teach it to interact with ChatGPT prompts and then interpret ChatGPT output or Claude output or whatever, to have conclusions, fill spreadsheets. It's like,
That's
guys,
right.
like when you see these things like really like working live, it's
Yep.
like, oh my God, like it's crazy. Terminator is here, right? Like it's taking over, right? But it's a competitive advantage you have too. Like when you get on top of that, it's good. And hey, if you say that's overwhelming, I don't want to get into that. Hey, we're here in the Land Autopilot. We can help you because we love dealing with that and love giving that to our customer and like eatable like bites, right? So you can just take it down. You can take it from there and just participate in that. Other than that, I think we have great times in front of you. Like the key takeaways for me, like over the past 6 months, were really like speed, systemization, and synthesis of AI tools will be the future, right? And whoever combines AI and human judgments the best,
We're
like
already doing it.
AI, yeah, and AI tools wins the market, right? So just evolve with your workflows right now, or your competition and their bots will do that. And with that said, I'm gonna open it up for Q&A for a couple of minutes. A couple of people on the call here, so yeah, just hit me up, and otherwise we close it out early today, right?
Robin, I have a question. Not
Do it.
really on this. Good. Okay. So when on the underwriting and the comping and everything, when we get leads, if something is like 90% wetlands or 90% floodplain, I don't think it doesn't really matter if it's AE flood zone or X flood zone, does it? Or does it? Because I've gotten
Here's my take on that. I think Harald, we had a property for you today, right? Like where it was the same thing.
I
When you
got one
have a
too.
40-acre property in the countryside that is 90% in a flood zone, that means 4 acre that are not in a flood zone or not in wetlands, right? When that is a hunting property and that is in a flood zone, it has a little bit of wetlands, but flood zone and wetlands are two things.
Right.
When it's a hunter gives a shit when it's the right type of wetland. It's like they don't care at all because they don't want to build on it. They just want to like maybe have like a little cabin in there. So like flood zones are in that moment important where you want to build all that, right? Like, and then it's super depending what kind of flood zone that is. Like an X flood zone is normally super unproblematic, but A and AE and all that can be
Yeah.
problematic. But in certain parts of the country, like Louisiana, um, Southern
Dickinson,
Alabama,
Texas.
Florida, parts of Texas, you can just avoid it, right? Like everything is a flood zone there, and people just deal with that, right? Wetlands can be more problematic, but again, like I looked at a parcel in Florida like the other day. It was 45 acres, and it was this whole swamp, but everywhere in that swamp were like little islands, high and dry. And what the people did there is that were hunting paradises. Like the people were hunting out there in the swamps, and so the land had value, right? Because they had like the little islands where they put them up their RVs. I don't know how they pulled them out there. It probably was a 4x4 when it was not rainy, Um, um, so when you have bigger parcels, like flood zone and wetlands don't really play a big role. Does that make sense?
But what if they're only 4.63 acres and it backs up to like we saw, whose property was it today? Was it Tim's, not Tim's, but Paul's or Adam's, where it had that highway? This
Mm-hmm.
one is only 4.63 acres, and most of it, almost all of it, is in the flood zone, and then it backs up to this highway. But the property is not of the highway. In other words, the property is okay, the highway's here and
Send me
it's
send me that deal. Like even on 5 acres, like always have that in mind. When you want to build a house, how much space do you need? Like a quarter acre, maybe. When you
right,
find a
yeah.
quarter acre high and
Yeah.
dry, like you don't care if your garden is in the flood zone.
All right, I'll
And
send it in.
like, and then the next thing is wetlands. Yeah, normally when it's completely wet, a 5 acre lot, I would say stay away. But when it's completely in a flood zone, let's first of all find out what flood zone it is. Let's second of all see like how do the other properties around there look like, and there's another
Okay.
fact. You can out survey 45%, 50% of flood zone properties in America, right? You can go through like, and if you can't like survey it out, right, then you can just like do some flood zone mitigation. You can just like elevate a little bit. You can build on stilts, right? Like, or how do you call it? Like the little pillars, just like elevate the buildings. Like all of that
I
is
like those
possible.
houses. They're nice.
To be honest, like um I've been to subdivision of Wakulla County, Florida. It's coastal zone. It's coastal flood zone. They need to lift the houses 20 feet. It's freaking great. Every house has through that ocean view. Every
Yeah,
house is
beautiful.
small, 0.11 acre lots. So now you take that lots and elevate it, and suddenly you have like the whole 2,000 square foot of the house as like a parking lot under your house,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Which is great too. You double the size of your little. I don't think, that's really a big deal. And the bigger the parcels are, the less it counts. Does that make sense? The less it's like really like I think like Harald, you had a parcel today, like a 40 acre, whatever. And normally and we when we pull the data, we leave the flood zone filters pretty much open, right? Like for the 20 acre plus, we just like say we don't care if it's in the flood zone or not, right? We do a 95%. We put the wetlands filter even like on this bigger parcels, 80% like is on there because hey, this bigger parcels like they're normally when we talk about recreational acreage for hunting, timber, farming
Yeah.
purposes, or a single family residential house, as long as if you have a quarter acre or an acre where you can build on that's like literally high and dry, like it's still a single family residential parcel, right? This is why we leave
Yeah.
that filter far wide
Yeah.
open. It's more important in subdivisions, right? Like especially in Florida or in Texas here, like that is not in flood zones and that is not in wetlands because when you have a quarter acre lot that has 80% wetlands, okay, there's not enough space to do anything, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. She hasn't called me back, but I have a feeling based on the name of, the company that owns it, I think it was theirs for a storage, like this, like a storage place. And she's wanting like an offer on it. Now didn't, I left her a message. She hasn't called me back. But it backs up to the highway. It makes perfect sense to me that she would have that because they can see it from the highway if she had a
Hey, and
building
when
there.
it's when it's a storage building, here's a
But
pro in that on the call. I don't know if he wants me to call him out, but like Joe Evangelista is a storage king in the US. Like we can just offload it to him and ask him for his opinion, what he thinks, right? So, um, um, it's like always bring it into context. Does that make sense? And when she wants an offer, give her an offer. When she bites on your offer, great, right? Like it's right now, it's really this sorting game. And like I said, flood zones and wetlands on recreational acreage are not so. When you have use cases like storage and so on, I don't even know if it counts in the storage game, like how like important that is, like what that has, but
he
probably
owns
it
it,
has some.
but there's no building on it yet.
Yeah. So
So,
just get
okay.
it. Let's evaluate it and go there. Any other
And the
questions?
one other thing, sorry guys. The other thing is, you remember the property that I said the
Oh, the
shaman.
shaman?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
well,
shaman, the
the
cursed
guy,
property. What happened? Like,
well, wait, he lied to me about the price that he paid because I looked it up, but I didn't know that at the time. We were texting. He told me, he says, well, I have to talk to my wives about it. And I said, wives? How many do you have or something like that? He said, I have three. And he says, is this a problem? And my question was, or back to him, because I'm like, I ain't answering that, dude. I said, are there names on the deed? He says, no. I'm like, okay. And then he says he's the Church of the Latter-day Saints, blah, 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 blah. And I looked it up, and the breakaways can have more than one wife anyways, but I'm going to be able to text him back on Saturday. So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I gave him the low range, and then I'm thinking, oh, that was probably still too high. I mean, I went based on our comps that we had done. And I didn't even go anywhere else. I just did 30, 60 days. And he's giving me this. And I said, you can have cash in 30 days. Here's your price. You can have cash in 60 days. Here's your price. And that's all by
so
texting.
he bites or he doesn't bite, right? This is the game you're playing right now.
Well, let's
Just
hope
like,
he bites. So,
yeah, let's hope he bites. But this, we can't make everybody and convert everybody. And
oh,
like,
I know,
to
but
be honest,
I just
like
wanted to
that
share.
person, that whole story, like was the curse of the shaman and all that. Like, I mean, that's already suspicious, right? Like, if that guy
I
ever makes it to a title company, probably he doesn't believe in passports and has no ID or something like that,
oh,
right? Like, there's probably other
and
crap that can happen, right?
he wanted us to pay him in gold and silver. And I said to him, well, no, I said this to him. I said,
You
you know
see it?
what?
He will not have an ID to identify himself in front
The
of a
title
notary.
companies,
For sure.
I,
He burned that many years ago, like in a big fire,
I
and he was
said the
dancing
title
around it for
companies,
sure.
the title companies do not take gold and silver to close on land. That's what I told
Oh my
so,
God.
so we'll see. He might just be, having fun with me, but that's all right.
That's
But it's
great.
good practice for me. Sorry, guys. But it's like,
That's what it
okay.
is, sorting it out. I'm happy
I,
that you have conversations, Gene. You didn't have conversations in a long time, and that's what it's about. And I'm happy you woke up after yesterday and the day last week, and we
I'm
just do
working
our
on it.
calls now.
I'm
Because now
working
it's
on it.
like really like doing the calls is the first step, and now we're doing it. And the second step is then just like getting better at these conversations, right? This will be then probably from next week, we're going to work on that.
Yep. Thank you.
I had a guy today tell me for a 1 acre lot in Michigan, he wanted $1 million. I looked up the address in Zillow, and then the market was like 45,000. So I politely responded in the text. Unfortunately, that's way bizarre. And he said, "Okay, give me 65 and a pony." And I told him I don't like ponies, and that was the end of the conversation. It was just you got to play with them. You got to play with them.
I would just have written him back. I give you 10 and a parrot, right? Like this is like what I would have done. Like so you need to be blunt. Like, do you said a million what? Like air balloons or like I don't know. Like you need to just be ridiculous when people are like this, right? Just like
Yeah.
be blunt about that. Like and you can pull stuff like that off, right?
That's like
Yeah.
Jack. Remember, Robin? Jack bought something with, this was years ago because I started with him in 2019. But he got a horse or something and something else from the land.
You have like all kind. I could write a book about that. Like guys, like the stories you hear. Is ridiculous, right? Like, yeah. Harold, you had a question too? No? Okay. Anything else I can do for you today, guys?
Today I talked to you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
I have to come back with the phone. It's second channel. Just hold on a second.
How is that
Um,
for you as Americans? Let me ask you that. I have sometimes this conversation, especially with people from the South. I don't understand that. Like, I was on the phone like 2, 3 weeks ago with the seller about like a bigger subdivision, and like I had my acquisition rep like on Slack, and I said like, dude, like do you get anything from that what he's saying? Because like in the past like 5 minutes where he was talking, I was like, I get nothing. Like I probably like we had an AI transcript and even AI couldn't understand him. Like it was like really like do you have trouble with that sometimes? Like even you guys like as native speakers, like is that something else coming up or not?
It's really bad for me in like Louisiana, like the real South, like Alabama and Louisiana. But like I'm good with Tennessee and
That
Texas.
was in Alabama. That was in
Yeah,
Alabama. Yeah,
yeah.
probably I hit somebody there, right?
It's like they got marbles in their mouth. It's bad. Yeah.
In
Yeah.
Alabama, yeah. But I never had problems in Alabama when I used to work there. So I don't know. East Texas, some of them, I'm like, wait, say that again. And I'm living here. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Harold, are you coming back with the phones? Or probably he doesn't hear us. Can he hear us? I don't know. Like he has sometimes audio trouble. It's a long way. He's sitting in Germany, and it's probably almost like 1 a.m. over there, right? Like so. Let's
exactly,
get him some kudos.
exactly.
Good
Can you hear me
morning.
now?
Yeah, from time to time. Sometimes you're interrupted. Sometimes it works. I hope that works because I don't find the link on the mobile yet.
We have a
So it
recording
doesn't
on this
matter.
in the
I
portal
I
later
just keep
online.
going.
Yeah,
Today I talked to a guy with a I can share my screen here with a 40-acre property, 3 parcels. Can I share my screen?
you can. Should be able to do that.
Doesn't work here, right? Ah, here it works. This one, you see that? Now I don't hear you
Yeah, it's
anymore.
yeah.
This is a parcel here.
Mm-hmm.
This is 4.5 acres.
Mm-hmm.
This one is 10 acres. And this one is 14 acres. So in total, this is more or less 40 acres, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy seems to be a developer himself.
Mm-hmm.
He said that he started that developing already. And yes, he talked about something like 160
Units.
real estate units, water,
Mm-hmm.
and 160 hookups for something, I don't know, and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. They said he has the approval now for a road uh, that goes through all three parcels here. He wants to develop that thing, and that took him 2.5 years to get this approval. And he had to buy a couple of guys out of easements, and he had to buy all the parcels and properties for that road and stuff like that. And yeah, he had overcome all the hurdles, and now I have the permission for all this stuff. And said, hey, just wants to hear a number. If the number is okay, then fine. If the number is not okay, he will continue developing this thing. This is Michigan. This is Livingston County. This is Howell here. So
Yeah.
we're
Okay. So what you
in
need
that
for that,
area.
right? So what you need for that is like what he did here. He went through something that's called an entitlement process, right? So he just like prepared to build a subdivision there, like like American suburbia, like you see there on the right side and on the other side. So what you want from him is all the plans, everything he has done. Like you want to see all of that. Probably you need to sign any kind. Maybe you can tell him that you can sign an NDA agreement, like Geheimhaltungsvereinbarung is what that is in German, by the way, right? For everybody that's interested in learning the German language and fancy words like Geheimhaltungsvereinbarung.
Most
In
important
America, they
word
just
that you
call it
can ever know.
NDA, right? Like it's that, and tell him, hey, yeah, I need to have a look at all those documents, and then we can have a look at that. Because there's different stages how far a development can be. There's different like steps in the approval processes, there's different steps of engineering done, there's different steps of like stuff done. And what you need is you need to get like all the different things. So whatever he has, you need to ask him to send you, that you can make a proper evaluation. Because when he has done some stuff already and he has done that, you want to understand the journey and where he's standing in the journey, right? That you can make also an offer, or maybe like we can partner with him or whatever, right? Like be pretty much open about that, like what you want to do with him, because he is willing to sell it. For what reason? That is the big question. Why doesn't he want to get rid of it? Like what's
Now you're interrupted again. Hmm.
Can you
The
hear me?
nah, I don't get anything. It's I look for the link here.
I sent it to you on Telegram. I don't have Telegram. Yeah. Oh, can you hear me again? Here's okay. Okay. Buzz.
Hey Harold, I just select your link.
Yeah, I saw it.
When you select your phone, then probably you can do that. But Harold, let's take that conversation off. Oh, there he is. Now you can hear
Yeah,
us.
perfect. Perfect. I have to mute myself here and here as well. Oh,
So we use all the tricks. Here we go. So what I said is, Harold, what you need from this guy is everything he has, like everything he brought together so far, right? Like in any kind of documents, like because there's certain stages where development can be, and that defines a lot about the value. And when we have clearance around that, we can just like make a master plan how we could engage in that project or not. Does that make sense? And what's really important is, why does he want to exit right now? What's his bottleneck? Why is he even talking to you? Does that make sense?
I just wanted to get a good price.
Okay.
Is that once I get a good price, it's okay. Then I will stop this and sell it. And once the prices that do not fit for me, then yeah, I'll bring it to the end and do it myself.
What is a good price for him? This is what you want to know.
He hasn't been telling me that I don't tell you any number, but the Maya script, he said that he's asking 2.2 million.
Okay, how many
And-
units is it? 140?
160, he said. 160 hookups for water or something that he mentioned.
Okay, and it could be
I
worse
didn't-
that, right? Like when you have 160 units for 2.2 million, right? So like, let me do the math here real quick, right? When he has that approval already, that's around $14,000 per lot. Does that make sense? So what that you would pay. So the question now is, how far is he in the development? Like how far is the engineering? How far is the split, the subdivide? How far are the approvals with the city? How far along is he in the process? Because
I think if I understood that right, the approvals are done, but technically he didn't bring the road in or did stuff like that. It's just he has a blueprint, he has a plan, and he has the approvals. That's it. I guess, when I understood that right, because he talked stuff
So
that honestly I didn't understand.
what you want to have is, okay, you want to see the documentation. And normally what the, like where he is, right? Like you want to see those plans and all that we know what we are getting into, and then we can probably make an offer or not, right? Then we're gonna like go around and see in our network who is active up there, and could probably make an offer, because this is what it is defined by, right? Because what he's doing, he took this like 40 acres, and now he started adding value by dividing 40 acres into 160 lots for houses. That has value for like a house builder that wants to bring 160 houses in that area. Does that make sense? And how far along is he is in the process that a builder can start building defines how much each of these lots is worth, defines how much like the whole package is worth. Does that make sense?
Okay, so I'll talk to him again.
Yeah, just call him up. Hey, I talked with my partner. Hey, what, so can you send me the documentation you have, and then we can have a look at that, and then we can take it a little bit from there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll do that. Cool.
Good. Guys, with that said, we're out of here at 6 p.m. CST. I wish everybody a blessed weekend. Get some leads in tomorrow, and see everybody. Oh, hey, let me drop a link real quick. Guys, you want to be online with us on Tuesday, 6 p.m. CST. We make a special call with Ross Hamilton. Ross Hamilton is the founder of Connected Investors, and he exited the company for a significant amount of money. It was like, at that date, the biggest software exit like the real estate world has seen. And he started out as a land investor, and he will bring a bunch of the knowledge and the steps he went in the process to really going from land investing to a multi-million dollar exit. And what he does today, and he founded a really nice charity organization. And I want to show you and what he does, and he will bring a firework of input for you guys. You will learn a lot. So I put the link here in the chat. It's next Tuesday at 6 p.m. CST. You want to be around for that one. And with that said, thank you guys for being with us. Hopefully you had some takeaways, especially how AI and technology will change the game, and talk to you soon, guys.
Thank you. God bless.